This is Steve Schiffman, and thank you very much for joining me today. If there's one question I've been asked 1,000 times, it's how do we overcome the pandemic right now? Each of us, no matter what we sell, we've been faced with real obstacles. And I'd like to address some of those, and hopefully I can give you some thought about motivating yourself, because that's ultimately what you have to do. A sales meeting, by definition, is engaging. In other words, you and the person you're selling to are engaged in a conversation that hopefully will lead to a sale. The problem is that you're going after people now who haven't seen you in 3, 4, 5 months maybe, and they've managed to survive without you. I want you to give some thought to that. They've talked to other vendors and maybe they're working with them. So that's one of the first things you have to understand. The objective of every meeting is to get to the next meeting. That's what you need to do. But are you able to accomplish that if, in fact, they're buying from somebody else? So one of the first questions that I tell people all the time is to say, I'm just curious, have you changed vendors? Who are you working with now? How did that happen? So that you understand the mechanics of the purchase. The objective of the first meeting is to get to the second meeting. The objective of the second meeting is to the third. What we're doing is always moving things ahead. Too many salespeople that I've been working with, coaching for the last 3 months, have forgotten that. They go and have a meeting with someone, or they do a virtual meeting, somewhere like Zoom, and it doesn't lead to anything, but they're happy they had the meeting. You can't be happy to have a meeting that doesn't lead to anything. It's got to lead to something, or else it's not a good meeting. The definition of sales, very different in today's world. And I've been talking about this for years. The definition of sales is not finding a solution, because there's no problem. It's not finding a need, because they don't have a need. It really is helping people do what they do better. But in order for you to understand what it is you can provide that will help them do what they do better, you have to understand what they do. So the real definition of selling is asking people what they do, who they do it with, when they do it, where they do it, who they do it with, why they're doing it that way. And our job is simply to help them do it better. Find out from people what they're doing. Why are they doing it now? Why are they doing it that way? How did they end up with that particular vendor or that particular seller? Give some thought to that. A sales meeting has to be engaging. You have to find ways, and you have to ask questions. I like how and why questions. The opening of the sales meeting now is more critical than ever before. Here's how I start. What I say when I meet somebody for the first time or second time, depending on the circumstances, I simply say, listen, before we get started, before we begin, would it help if I tell you something about me and my company? So all I say, before we get started, before we begin, would it help if I tell you something about me and my company? 9 times out of 10, they say yes. This is taking the pressure off of them. So they say yes. I go and give them a little blurb about us. And then I say, I'm just curious, how did you get into this business? How did you build this situation? How did you get there? And they will tell you, because you shared something about yourself. So therefore, they will, in fact, tell you. What I want you to understand is that there are 10 things that you can improve your communication skills with. And the simplest of all is simply taking notes. Now that sounds like, well, I must do that all the time. No, you don't. I know you don't. What you'll do is you'll take out your pad of paper and you'll write something on the pad of paper. But the pad of paper really signifies or signals to the buyer that you're actually interested in what they have to say. Make sure you take notes, but don't ask stupid questions like, are you interested? And they say no, and you write the word no. Don't do that. I've actually seen people do that, right? No. How many write no? Yes, maybe, but no, you write no. You're questioning, and the questions you ask have to be logical. They have to make sense. They have to be smart questions. So maybe next time we'll talk about smart questioning so that you and I both understand what that definition means. As always, you can reach me at Steve Schiffman at @steveschiffman@steveschiffman.com. Go on the website, go on Google, look at what we've done. Look at the books. Look at the things that we've done that I know can help you. And I'm willing to help you. Not only am I willing, I want to help you. I want you to be the most successful salesperson ever. And I think I can help you do that. So give me a call if you're interested. You can reach me too at 646-341-6947. 646-341-6947. Go out there and make sales. And as always, you humble me by your presence today. Do you want to be successful in sales, or are you putting it off? Do you kind of say, I don't want to make those calls, because if I do, it won't really work? Do you kind of procrastinate when it comes to that? You don't need to anymore. We're going to give you a book, the book on how to get appointments. I've written it 35 years ago, and it's still around. It's been in different editions for the last 30 years. It sold over 2 million copies, and it's been in different languages. And I've been in 43 different countries training cold calling techniques that really work. Here's your opportunity, so take advantage of it. It won't last long. Just follow the directions below, and good selling. Thanks.